I don't know if you guys have a Steam wish list that looks like a bloated corpse of games you'll likely never get around to playing, but I most certainly do. And whenever I feel like I'm in a bit of a gaming drought, I'll reach in and pull one of those sad wretches out of the muck and mire. And every now and then, they'll smack me in the face with combat so good it makes me want to commit seppuku for not realizing it sooner. This is exactly how I felt when I picked up Shogun Showdown, the wildly innovative turn-based roguelike that had me pointing the blade at my belly in just the first few hours I spent with it. There's a beauty in simplicity, and the first thing that Shogun Showdown made sure to remind me is that simplicity of a rule set does not beget simplicity in gameplay. To create a basic set of rules that can be digested and understood in under 30 seconds, whilst not losing any of the complexity that emerges from the implementation of that simple rule set, is truly an extraordinary feat, and Shogun Showdown makes an exemplary effort to create a roguelike that's lean and mean in nearly every aspect of its design, while still leaving plenty of meat on its bones for us combat junkies to chew on. So what does a run in Shogun Showdown look like? Well, when you boot up the game for the very first time, you'll only have the Wanderer, one of 5 total playable characters available to you, with the others requiring you to defeat specific bosses or finish a run on a harder difficulty to unlock. And there are 2 things that make each hero in Shogun Showdown unique from one another. The first is their special ability, which for the Wanderer allows him to swap positions with the enemy in front of him by moving into them, and the second are their 2 starting tiles, with our default hero having dual daggers that target the tiles directly in front and behind him simultaneously, and an arrow for ranged offensive capabilities. With the Wanderer our sole choice, we enter Shogun Showdown's battlefield, which is constructed of a single row of either 5, 7, or 9 tiles, meaning your movements and enemy movements are locked along a horizontal axis. You can move left or right, change which direction you're facing, pass a turn in the same position, or queue up to 3 attack tiles and execute them at will. The catch is that every one of these actions consumes a turn, and when you take a turn, so does every single enemy on the field. This turns Shogun's combat into a strategic puzzle that requires you to think several turns ahead if you wish to come out unscathed. And it also creates an environment where a single misstep or miscalculation could cost you the entire run, and if not that, a big chunk of your already modest health bar.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Naturally, in order to see this far into the future, you'll need total transparency on every enemy's intentions. Here's the general anatomy of an enemy's AI. The first thing each enemy will attempt to do is change their direction so that they're facing you. Once this is accomplished, an enemy will then queue up an attack, with most enemies typically queuing a single action, though you'll need to watch out for special foes like the Grappler, who pulls you in with his hook and follows up with a katana slash, as well as bosses who will typically prepare 3 tiles before attacking. Once these conditions are met, an enemy will then pursue you relentlessly until they get into attack range, whereupon their action queue border will flash yellow, indicating they will execute their attack on the very next turn. Keep in mind each enemy's attack range so you don't get caught in the crossfire, or utilize movement tiles and your special ability to bait enemy attacks so you can slip away and hopefully cause them to deal friendly fire. But beware the enemies that lie in wait behind one of their own, for once they've taken the necessary steps to queue an attack, they will hold the queue until they establish line of sight on you, whereupon they will attack you on the very next turn. Fortunately, Shogun Showdown offers a diverse selection of attack tiles that allow you to expertly manipulate your position to ensure you always stay one step ahead. From standard single target attacks that hit a foe directly in front of you, to ranged options like arrows, shurikens, and kunai that have no range cap, to tiles like Dragon Punch that damages and pushes a target across the stage for collision damage, Back Charge that launches you backwards until you collide with another enemy or the end of the stage, Mirror which takes your current position on the field and teleports you to the other side's equivalent tile, or Earth Impale that targets tiles 2 spaces away from you on either side with rock spikes. These attacks are all pretty cool on their own, but where Shogun Showdown tickles the tactical mind is in the execution of combo attacks, which can have you slot and perform up to 3 attacks at once. Consider these combat scenarios. You slip into position in front of an enemy with the Chainmaster and queue up the ball and chain attack tile, which targets foes up to 3 spaces away from your front and swings back directly behind you if any unfortunate soul is caught occupying it. Then use his bidirectional special ability to swap the spear user to the right of your previous position, causing him to stick and poke one of his own into a fine red mist, leaving you free to follow up with a front-facing bash attack to clear the wave and spawn the next. How about this play with the Ronin, where we furiously dash between 2 enemies, dual dagger the 2 tiles to the left and right, killing the ranged threat and freezing the weakened katana wielder. Then queue up the tile's back charge and arrow, and dash into the foe behind you, killing them on the spot, and follow up with a bow shot to the dome on the enemy you left shivering in their boots. Dash past Sato the Stage Master with Shadow Dash, slash him with your blade in a flourish that turns you back around to face him, and push him back with Twin Tessin before he even knows what hit him. Outside of using movement-based tiles like Shadow Dash that can let you phase behind an enemy, the primary way to stay out of attack range outside of simply killing an enemy before they can get to you is through each character's special ability, which is on a cooldown timer of its own and is indicated by the gray bar above your health. We've seen what the Wanderer can do, but what about our other heroes? Well, the Ronin can push an enemy in front of him by moving forward, dealing collision damage to the pushed target in addition to anything it comes in contact with. The Shadow can phase through enemies in front of him by moving forward, and moving left or right allows him to slide across tiles until he comes in contact with an enemy. The Jujitsuka can throw an enemy standing behind her by moving backwards, and the Chainmaster can swap toss enemies directly in front or behind him by moving into them. Be careful though, as poor management of your position and ability queue can leave you with queued tiles that won't hit anything but air. But adaptability is the name of the game, and Shogun Showdown knows that. Unqueuing tiles counts as a free action, meaning it won't consume a turn, and you won't have to waste a tile that doesn't hit anything and trigger its cooldown timer. Even better, you can rearrange the order of your attack tiles at any point in combat as a free action, giving you a better opportunity to ensure all your queued attacks actually hit something. And if you find yourself in a pinch during a combat encounter with no obvious recourse, you'll want to make full use of the various items that Shogun Showdown offers, from simple health potions, to shields that mitigate a single source of damage, to a poison debuff that ticks a single bar of health from every enemy each turn for 3 turns, to curses that cause an enemy to take double damage on the very next hit received. These consumables are here to save your life, and since item usage counts as a free action and won't consume a turn, their usefulness is not to be underestimated, as oftentimes it's the only solution to getting out of a problem you've pigeonholed yourself into due to poor positioning or tile plays. When it comes to post-battle goodies, there are 2 general options. The first has you choose between 2 tiles to add to your deck, and the second presents you with an upgrade statue that offers random buffs, which range from an increase in damage, reductions in cooldown, additional upgrade slots for your tiles, or a combination of 2 of these 3 options, or enchants such as Perfect Strike that refreshes your tile immediately if it exactly depletes the target's HP, but at the cost of a longer cooldown. If any of these options are not to your liking, you can opt to reroll it for a small fee, though further rerolls will cost increasingly more gold. When it comes to traversal of the world node map, Shogun Showdown continues to stick to its minimalist design. There are no random event nodes or secret encounters here. Instead, every major node choice between battle encounters consists of a selection between 5 different item shops that are paired with randomized upgrade stones that can offer you cooldown reductions, which are typically better than post-battle upgrade stones, damage buffs, slot upgrades, enchants, or 40 gold when you sacrifice a tile. Visit the guarding shop to become a tanky son of a bitch with skills such as Iron Skin, which reduces incoming damage by 1 but reduces max HP by 3, or Fortress, which allows you to begin battles with a shield at the cost of 2 max HP. Hit up the Warring Shop to purchase damage buff perks like Monomancer, which deals additional damage if you perform an attack with only 1 tile in your queue, or make your special ability even more deadly by picking up Damaging Move from the Dancer Shop. To turn multiple queued attacks into even more enticing offensive plays, the Combo Shop has you covered with perks like Triple Combo Heal, which heals you for 1 HP when you kill 3 enemies in a single turn, or Combo Curse to place a mark on a random enemy after a combo kill. And finally, the Astronomer Shop will offer a selection of skills drawn from all the possible perk selections of the other 4 shops, in addition to a few perks that are exclusive to the Astronomer Shop itself. On the meta progression side of things, almost everything in Shogun Showdown is unlocked with the requisite skull currency, which you'll accrue whenever you clear a boss encounter. These skulls can be used to unlock new tiles for use in future runs, as well as additional slots for the various shops you can visit, which allows for more items to be offered at once. Outside of this, the last means of meta progression comes from the 2 alternate starting tile sets for each character, which unlock after meeting specific requirements like earning 3 out of the 5 challenge badges, which have conditions such as slaying the final boss in under 30 minutes or slaying him in under 1,000 turns. In addition to this, every hero has their own difficulty progression meters, which the game refers to as days. Day 1 is the starting difficulty, and each subsequent day will stack additional negative modifiers, such as making elite spawns more frequent on Day 2, or lowering the chance of potion and consumable drops on Day 3 to make your runs more challenging. Shogun Showdown might be a leaner offering compared to many of the other roguelikes/lights I've reviewed on this channel, in terms of its limited variety in node pathway options, a limited total deck size, with a complete run seeing your deck cap out at around 6 tiles, in addition to Shogun's 1D single lane turn-based combat environment itself. And yet despite all this, Shogun Showdown is as gripping a roguelike as they come, and it's because of its minimalist design philosophy, accompanied by a simple but effective rule set from which emerges gameplay that's tactical as all hell. Shogun Showdown is available on Steam at a base price of $14.99 USD, with past sales seeing it get as low as $6.99. This sandbox might only get up to 9 tiles long, but boy does it run deep.